needed it.
Okay. So, good afternoon, ladies.
Good afternoon.
And to all our participants. I hope you enjoyed Friday's On Your Sofa discussion. I don't know about you, but I really had fun. I really enjoyed myself. It was so interactive. I learned a lot from all my co-moderators. It was wonderful. And I will go back and revisit it. And I urge you all to go back to our website at www.diversityhouse.org.uk and go to the COVID-19 Wealth page, and you will find a recording for last Friday, which was the 22nd of May. So I hope you do that and learn as much as we did. So today, I'm here with my co-moderator, Councillor Gloria Opara. She's a councillor at Medway Council, and she's also my very, very knowledgeable champion with panache, an intelligent friend. She's the director and co-founder and the founder of Cyber Engineer. You know, right from the beginning of this On Your Sofa discussion, each time I introduce her and say, cyber engineers, you could notice that I wear this wonderful, very wide grin on my face. Exactly how it makes me to feel that I have such an intelligent co-moderator. So I welcome you. I hope you're going to talk nicely. I welcome you to this On Your Sofa discussion, Gloria.
Thank you so much, Christine. It's really always lovely to hear and to see you on this platform, and for your kind words. Intelligence, I think, goes with hard work, or hard work goes with intelligence. So you and I know that we don't achieve these things by just being intelligent, okay? We have sleepless nights. I was telling you this morning how it is that I went to bed about 3 a.m. So,
Yeah.
You and I know how it is. And for Diversity House as well, it's not just luck or intelligence or match that got you where you are. You've worked your socks off, and you continue to work your socks off as well. So there was something Kate, who is with us today, said to me on, I think it was yesterday or so, when we chatted about meeting us both. It takes an intelligent woman to recognize another intelligent woman. It takes a hardworking woman to support another hardworking woman. It takes a good, well-focused female to support another. It takes an assertive to be able to support another, because whilst others are scrambling for position, you and I kind of have found ourselves in this place right at the beginning of the lockdown. Coming up with this, we were talking about this before. We did not get this idea from anyone else. We came up with this idea, even when we did not know how it was going to work. We just felt, you know what, Diversity House had to be doing something. Let's use technology, and here we are. Nearly 9 weeks or so on, and twice weekly. You know what? We've done well. I would say we've worked hard. Yeah, and we've had fun. We've had fun doing it.
In fact, if you don't have fun with it, it's not worth doing.
No, I tell you, we started off, actually it was to do with our looks, our nails.
Well, that's how ideas are bet, Ideas come from very grain-like of sand.
Yeah.
And it just pops up on its own. You don't work hard for it. It just shows up, and what you do with it, you did well with it. You didn't push it aside. You kind of nurtured it from nothing. Now it's growing, and you don't know where to go.
Yeah. No, Kristen is she's a force to reckon with, and
Yeah.
the passion. I don't think she sells herself enough. She doesn't promote what she does enough. I'll tell you what, being a counselor, obviously I know of so many charities, and I know that she is the only charity that I know doing what she's doing.
Yeah.
And we've had on this platform, on this show, we've had a community police officer. We've had
NHS.
from the NHS. We've had even last chat was the Deputy Lord Lieutenant of Kent. You know, so we've had some quality individuals and UKers also being here. So, Kristen, you've done well. You know, you can probably look back to COVID-19 lockdown and say, you know what, I did this. I did not, you know, just wrap up myself and stay indoors with my family. And besides all the things that you're doing with 2 young daughters as well, and your husband, you're studying for your PhD. So I don't actually know how you do it all, but passion drives you. And
I know
what we may not, there are people who may not have faith, but one of the things that I do, I have faith. I know my faith leads me, takes me all the way. And I can say this quite confidently, that I believe that God has been good to me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. she's dealing with her dog.
Daughter, her third daughter.
Let me call you back.
All right.
No, the dog.
Okay, thanks for calling. I called you. Yeah.
Oh, she's on the phone.
Yeah, because she's also dealing with her service users while she does.
My service user.
Okay.
All right. Go back. So I have 3 phones here. I've got to answer to all the time.
No problem. It's part of the show. It's part of it.
So great. So thank you very much. And so let's quickly. I've welcomed you and welcome Kate. I'm sure you enjoyed last Friday. That's why you're here. And yes. All the other people that are listening and watching, and we'll go back to review the recorded discussion. So everybody, last week we had a number of people with us moderating the discussion forum, and today we're going to go ahead with the same subject of assertiveness and positive, how to sound positive. Last week we talked about negativity, how that occurs, you know, a negative attitude. But we're going to turn it around today by looking at assertiveness and how you can sound positive and have positive behavior, because that's very important. And I think it's best to round up the assertiveness and confidence building discussion with how to have a positive behavior. So that's the right way to wrap it up. So, so we believe that by the end of this discussion, that we all, because we are all learning. Remember, we said that assertiveness is a learned behavior. It's not something that we are born with. We've got to learn it. So I have to also include us within this discussion. By the end of this today's On Your Sofa discussion, that we would have learned some positive behavior and learned how to sound positive and work positive. And I think that will help us as we go back to our various places of work, you know, our education, and any other thing we do within the community. We will be able to exhibit positive behavior. And I think that will be new us going back to the new normal way of living. Very okay. So let's commence. Great. We said assertiveness is a learned behavior. So you've got to learn it, and you've got to have some strategies to learn how to be assertive, isn't it? And so nobody, if anybody tells you they were born assertive, then I think you got to look at the person suspiciously, because they're trying to intimidate you or make you feel insignificant. So the important thing to learn is that you can actually groom and train yourself to sound assertive, to appear assertive, and to behave in positive ways. And it's that positivity that you exhibit that will make people to begin to feel this is an assertive person. And it will also do something with your psyche. It will give you that little touch, that you say, yes, I'm assertive. So how do we do this? Let's look at some of the traits of sounding confident, sounding assertive. You remember that we said at the beginning, and when we talked about communication, in one of the on your sofa discussion that we talked about, we looked at communication and the different aspects of communication. And we also rolled it into how it affects relationships and all that. So we did today also. I want to bring in communication. And we said communication, it's not just the verbal, the way we, the verbal communication that you hear. It's not the 7% that makes up the word that we talk, that we use. But communication is made up of different things. That 38% of communication is actually your pitch and your tone. That means now, getting it down to what we're saying, sounding confident. So if you want to sound confident, you've got to work. You've got to really, really work on your pitch. You've got to work on the volume. The volume. You've got to work on the quality of the sound. You don't want, okay, let me give you an example of the quality of your sound. If you don't want to sound like shrinking kind of person, do you? That doesn't actually make people have faith in you. You're shrinking like some vulture, that kind of noise. You don't want to sound that way. It's off-putting. You've got to monitor the quality of the sound that is coming out from you, and think about how the sound that is coming out from your vocal, the tone, how will it appear to, or how would the person receiving it feel when they hear that kind of, the quality of that voice? The volume, is it too high? Is it too low that nobody can hear you? So how is it? The pitch, is it so, you do have very high pitch, or do you get so low? So you've got to work on these things, because an assertive person will have not trembling voices. When some people talking, their voice is trembling, as if they're frightened. Not muttering to yourself. You shouldn't be muttering to yourself. So these are the three key things that you need to look at: the sound that emits from you. Okay.
I think like the title says sounding confident, and people have to hear your voice and instantly perceive that you are assertive, the way you come across. Now look, it's 38% of what people hear from us. It's governed by the pitch, the volume, and the quality of our voice. So if you want to come across as confident, you need to take these three things into consideration. Pitch, for example, pitch is to do with the high, how high or how low, your voice is. I remember during my teacher training days, one of the things that they would judge you was how you portray your voice, how your voice resonates even in the classroom. Your presence and your voice, is it too high, is it too low, so that your students are not able to obviously relate to that. So you need to take into consideration your voice, especially the pitch. Now, let me look at myself. When I am sounding confident, okay, I normally will speak from a relaxed position like this, okay, and I will speak from my stomach, okay, from my heart. So you will experience passion, okay. You will know that this person knows what they're talking about, and even the pitch, okay. I'm not agitated at all. You know, I'm not fazed by my environment. So I talk like this, my tone and everything. But let me tell you, when I'm not feeling so confident, my voice goes like this. I begin to speak from my throat, and you know, at that point, you just know that, Gloria, you're shaky. And I know myself, you know, and also the volume. It's good for us to know our environment. I tell you, you know, we know we're coming from, you know, our country. We're divided into 3 main parts. And there's one particular part of our country. When they do talk, you will think that they are quarreling.
Exactly.
You think they're arguing, but then again, they're not. They're just exhibiting passion. But again, take into consideration your environment, the quality of your voice. Add passion to it. Let it be seen in your eyes how you come across and what have you, and smile. A confident person will always smile, even when you're presenting. Let me tell you something. One of the most scariest things that I do as an individual is door knocking during elections. And you know, you're coming to a house where you don't even know their political flavor. Okay, or so you knock on the door, you don't know what to expect. You have to learn to smile. Because some doors get slammed in your face.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but you need to be, regardless, that door slams on your face, you go to the next one still feeling confident, regardless of what the next door has just done to you. So it's important for us to get all this. Why are we even talking about sounding confident? It's because people will judge you. They will judge the way you come across. They will judge the way you dress. Last week we talked about dressing. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going for gold. Post-COVID-19 is the best we have ever been that we want to be out there, isn't it? So whatever it is, we need to start setting targets. Okay, look at the pitch, okay, of our voice, and make sure that we know how to modulate that. If it's too high, okay, depending on our environment, maybe we need to tone that down because we want to be the best. I tell you what, the world that is coming, that we're going into post-COVID-19, is not going to be the same world that we left in March.
No.
It's going to be very competitive. It's going to be a place where only the very best succeed, at least initially, okay? So how do we fit in? How do we, you know, become one of those who benefit from this new normal? This is why we're all doing, this is why we're doing this. And it is so important. It's so important for us to know how to sound confident.
Exactly.
You know, regardless of where you're coming from, you need to go out with your best foot forward. Even before they see that foot, let them hear the voice of a confident person, the voice of somebody who has something to offer.
Yeah, definitely. It's important.
Yeah.
Well said, Gloria. And that's really true. So, you really touched on this this slide actually, because you talked about feeling and looking the part. feeling and looking the part. You said it, that, a confident person you don't need to break the bank actually to look the part. You don't need to break the bank. Simple, nice, tidy, clean dress, tidy hair, combed hair, or whatever you want to do it. If you want scarf, use a scarf, nice. If you want to comb your hair, comb it. If you want to braid it, if you want to perm it, however you want to do it, make sure you want to hold it on the French bun, do that. But look presentable. Because I keep saying, and that's my motto. I have it in my kitchen, I have it everywhere. My motto is, looking good is good business. So
yes,
looking good is good business. It has something to do with, self-love. That's about self-love. And it's when you have this self-love, when you look good, you tidy yourself, you're looking good, you will sound good. Because you feel good inside. Like Gloria, you said about something, you speak from your stomach. And when you say you speak, people don't really understand that. When you say you speak from your stomach, it means that you're speaking with passion. You're speaking with conviction.
That's right.
And when you speak with conviction, that's actually a confident and assertive person saying. And why do you have this conviction? It's because you feel, yes, I'm good. Nothing is going to go wrong. And you walk the walk and you talk the talk at the same time. So feeling good and looking good is okay. And you appear in your voice.
Yeah, just to add to what we are talking about as well, sounding positive or sounding confident, you would need to have the right information as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So this is why, again, a platform like this where we're discussing all this, it's useful. If you're the type that really struggles to read, but we're just watching video clips like this, because what feeds what comes out of you.
Exactly.
If you don't have much inside of you, what will come out is emptiness.
Exactly.
Isn't it? I mean, Kate, what do you think? Because you are a creative person, but being creative, you would have, I don't know, you would have looked at your world, the world around you to see what comes out. What do you say?
Yes, it's absolutely essential. Visual. That's why you see is the biggest visual communicating through visual. That's why it's the biggest, one single biggest economic driving force going forward. Everything we used to do before, now we're going to, that one is going to go like maybe 40% or maybe 30%. Visual platforming, presentation, and cutting edge appearances. With it's not showing off, but giving out respect to other people as you respect yourself by the way you appear in any platform given to you. So if you're not mindful probably of those things, you will not get very far, and people will not take note of you. But you don't get it just by saying, I want it. You have to find it.
That's right.
You have to study it. You have to research. You have to do the painful work, long hours, weeks after week. You will not get the breakthrough you're looking for immediately until you're ready. And when you're ready, you present yourself through, after you've coordinated your tone and balance yourself, you have enough confidence, because you will rehearse as well. Because you want to talk to many people, you want to get audience, and they want to see you and they want to say, oh, I like what she's saying, I like what she's doing. Like my sister is saying is very important, like what both of you are saying. That's why I said to you yesterday that I learned, I got a lot out of the session on Friday, to confirm what I am looking at and what I'm already doing and where I'm going, and knowing that there are other women of your type that is kind of on the verge of something. You are actually on the verge of something. I hope you don't water it down because Corona finished, then you say, okay, move on. Because it's something unique, and a lot of people suffer for this. I have to change my mindset. Coming from Africa is very difficult. It's not it's not something you take lightly. I've gone through it. It's a mind transformation. And you have to connect with people in your environment and learn the culture. Don't rely on your own culture that you call, oh, this is how we do things. No, if you go to Rome, you have to behave like a Roman in order to be able to, communicate with the Romans. So that's the thing I'm getting from you guys, and I'm really loving it. I'm happy about that, and it's essential, absolutely. And you too, lady, hey, cheers, go on. Don't stop what you're doing.
Thank you very much, then. Thank you, we appreciate that. And we're happy that you're learning something, and we're happy that others also, as they watch this on the sofa discussion, that they get things from it also. That's really wonderful. So if we quickly move to the next slide. So we talked about sounding positive, and we've talked about the the pitch, the quality, and all that. But the next thing now is there's a strategy. I said at the onset. Look, there's a tactic there, and once you know the tactics, then you will be able to follow through. And one of the tactics is active listening. It comes. Everybody will say they are going back to communication again. There's no way you can be assertive and confident when you're in a crowd, when you're networking, when you're in the office, when you're wherever you are in the community, when you're in a boardroom meet, whatever, you can't be assertive if people were talking before and you didn't listen attentively. So, because if you didn't listen attentively to what they were saying, then you'll be lost at sea. Because when it comes to your turn to say something, you'll be mumbling. Everybody will know they are confused because speaking out of, you will not be saying exactly what you are meant to say. So one of the key skills for assertiveness boils down to active listening. When we say active listening, people just think there are many ways myself. When I'm doing assessments, when I'm conducting assessments of clients and all that, I notice when people are actively listening. And I also demonstrate active listening to my clients. When you actively listen, sometimes you see you could move forward a bit, to show the person this, what you now have got my attention. You have a way of saying, making some sounds. Yes. Yes. You show they are really, and then you probe. So these are some of the things that show that somebody is actively listening. So when they're talking, when at a time you probe, you said, yeah, excuse me, you at this point you said so and so. Am I right? Am I right? When you got so and so, and the person will affirm and confirm that that's what that's close. Or sometimes you reflect. So you reflect, you unpack whatever the person said to them, and they said, oh yeah, definitely. That's exactly what I meant when I said that. Or you reframe what the person said, and they say, oh, the way you said it comes out better than the way I meant it. So you take notes also. So these are some of the ways of active listening. And develop that skill of active listening?
I think it's something, Christian, sorry, that has played a big role in what you and I have been doing, because this is the first time we started working together like this, and we've taken on a big project, not knowing how you work or how I work, but we've managed to keep this going for so many weeks. Because when you're talking, I listen, to know when to come in, either to reinforce what you've said or to give another angle to what you're saying. And vice versa, you do the same. We've never had to mute the other person so that you can finish, because there is mutual respect. And I'm actively listening. I'm picking up on what you said previously, to make sure that our listeners and those who are participating in this conversation will get the best from it all. And I think that is key, because when you're actively listening or dialoguing with somebody, the ultimate aim is what is going to come out of this? What is the benefit? What is the outcome going to be, of this conversation? So why are we talking? Why are the words that are being used? And the why is always there. So once we can establish where we're going with our communication, and you and I having that goal, the same goal, going the same way, you'll find that active listening becomes a natural thing in that conversation, right?
Yeah, definitely. That's exactly what we say. And, I did mention note-taking after discussion. It's really, really important. It's not just researchers or journalists that should do that.
No.
I will urge people, and in the office, to make notes, to have notes at hand. I have my, I have notepads and I have post-its and all that, and I jot notes at all times.
Absolutely.
My paper here, I've got my
your notes.
So take notes after discussion. Write it down and look at it. Reread what you've taken down. Try to break them down into chunks to make sense of what has been said, and so that will help you to respond, to give positive response, a response that will come across very articulated and sense, that makes sense to the person that you are transmitting the message to. So when you're talking, people will turn around and say, yes, this person actually is confident, knows what he or she is saying. I go to conferences and I listen to people when they ask questions. You wonder, are they in the same room as yourself? Now, it does happen, you wonder. And let me not be very rude. Since this COVID-19, there's been, there's been lots of conferences and talks, and that involves many reporters or all sorts of people or lay people asking questions. And if you listen to those people asking questions you know what I mean. I don't want to say it out loud. But they ask the same question over and over and over again. This morning I was going through the Facebook, and somebody just said, I'm tired, I'm not going to listen to COVID-19 news
briefing. News briefing.
Yes, that's what the person said. I'm not going to it. He said, I come out of it very depressed.
Yeah.
Somebody said, why? He said, because they're asking the same thing over and over and over again. And this person said, I'm really surprised that the people giving this news briefing are not sick and tired of repeating themselves over and over.
Daily briefing from the government.
Exactly. So, and if they were taking notes when others were asking questions, they would avoid repeating themselves. They would avoid asking the same question over. Because what they do is they ask the same question, but they use some other words.
Can I tell you why people, so one of the reasons people do that, they just all want to be heard. They all want to sound important. It's not just over there. I mean, I go to council meetings and sometimes I'm thinking, my goodness, seriously, do we need that question again from somebody else? Or paraphrased. So I think some people just love to hear themselves, and they must have something to say, even though what they're saying is not new. It's not. It's not their original idea. And sometimes when I chair meetings, I will say, if that question hasn't been asked before, please do not repeat it. So it's again, when we're going out to work, if you have nothing to say, that's all right.
Yeah.
It's all right. Maybe affirm what someone else has said rather than you trying to make up something for the sake of it.
Yeah, but I think that they usually, like journalists, they usually get they get ahead of the discussion, that they have some kind of insight into what the briefing is going to be like. So it gives them time actually to prepare their question. But sometimes what they do is they want headline.
Yeah,
grabbing headline. So who is going to ask that same question in a more exaggerated way that will hit the front page? So that's where their downfall is. Instead of asking genuine questions that people will really want, so people are dealing with, things people are dealing with, and they really want to have answers. And depending on journalists to ask government, to hold government to task, but they're just seeking kind of punchline and headline.
Headline. You're right.
So I just ignore them anyway. Somehow.
You don't come across very intelligent and confident when you do, when people do things like that. So that needs to be avoided. Like you rightly said, Gloria, and you also, Kate, if you don't have anything to say, yes, you either keep quiet, and that does not mean you're not important. That doesn't mean you're not intelligent. Or if you can keep quiet and you really want to say something, why not actually affirm, say, agree with the last
somebody else. Yeah, of course.
Because, and then you give the rationale.
Yeah.
Or you justify why you agree with that person. That could be a contribution also.
Yeah, of course.
So that's actually what needs to be done. Writing your communication. Write it down. Because if if you have something to, for instance, you're going for a meeting somewhere, and you know that they may ask you some questions, and you know the topic, you know exactly what the meeting is all about.
Yeah.
You have related some bullet points. You don't need to write pages of things, just some bullet points that could be triggered, that could add triggers to what you will say. So if you have those bullet points that are triggered, so you will not be caught unawares. And because you're not caught unawares, then you're talking confidence. You see? Because you know exactly, you have the key point that needs to be, and just mention it, and then you begin to talk. It opens up what you need to say. So I think that's some of the tactics to use in order to sound confident and assertive, actually.
And also avoid distractions, especially when we're talking about active listening. Avoid distractions. What do I mean by that? Put your phone away. Put it on silent, put it on mute or what have you. Don't fiddle with things, because some of us, when we are nervous, that's when we start fiddling with Netflix or anything. You know what? If you find yourself nervous of some sort, when you go into that meeting, don't even accept to drink, because you might be too nervous, and then you end up spilling the drink. you know, avoid distractions of all sorts. The worst thing that can happen is that here you are wanting to sound confident and your phone goes off.
Yeah.
So,
but what you could do in that situation is, you could, before the meeting starts, if there's a very important call that needs to be, you know, that you need to handle. For instance, people like us that work with very vulnerable service users.
Yeah.
You have to tell them, I'm going to mute, I'm going to put my phone on vibration. I'm going to mute it.
Because I'm expecting a call from,
a very important call.
Yes,
and
of course.
Please forgive me because I may step aside for 5 minutes or 1 minute or so to take that call. And you know, so you don't feel embarrassed or start fidgeting and all that. So, dealing with put downs, that exactly. Let me tell you, we get this every day. Oh, we get this every day. And especially, you know, in some positions you find yourself, you know, when we talk about, you know, in strategic levels, that's what you call boardroom politics coming. So the boardroom politics coming because somebody wants to put you down, and to climb on top of your on top of your head and look good and look very good. So they will put down no matter what you say, no matter how you say, no matter how articulate, no matter how intelligent it sounds, no matter how crucial the point that you've made is, they will put you down. You see, just for the sake of, we want to get ahead of you. So we want to make you look bad. And in team meetings in organizations, it happens. In team meetings, in some teams, depending on the organization culture, the culture of the organization, some cultures of organizations are very, very tense, very unfriendly, very unwelcoming. You have different cliques. You have different cliques in some organizations. Like when you come for a meeting, you find people sitting around in cliques and fighting their friends and all that, and putting down some other people. It's important I'm bringing this up because we are going to go back to work, or we're going to go back to politics, or we're going to go back and the person, you're going back to politics and this other person sits over that other bench, and you sitting the opposite bench, and everybody is eyeing one another and trying to get, you know, get some important, you know, score some marks, you know. Or you are in the community, even if it's a volunteering position, somebody somewhere is always out there to actually put you down. And so how do you overcome that? How do you actually turn it around? How do you turn around, put down to your own advantage? Actually, you could do that. You could turn it to your own advantage. Don't gracefully, and that's the mistake you do. You know, most people make this mistake by when they put them down or try to belittle them, they will take it like on the other side. Give it to me on the other side. Gracefully accepting it. It's not going to get away. Don't gracefully accept put down. Meet them with assertive. Be assertive when you're meeting. And that does not mean they're going to be aggressive. Don't turn the other cheek. Gloria, give me one put down. Say one put down.
I'm just waiting for you to finish. I tell you what, obviously, at my level, so it's difficult for anyone to even attempt to do that. But I know of a very young woman. You know, she carries her hair. She, you know, obviously from the Black African ethnic origin. So she has a very natural hair, okay? And I mean, this person is well educated, you know, but because of her youth, she found herself in a place where somebody was now playing with her hair. Oh, let me feel your hair. Put down. The person doesn't necessarily have to actually audibly put you down, but it's the way they treat you, the way they make you feel. Okay, so like, oh, let me touching your hair, and she felt insulted. Because I tell you what, people from our community, it's offensive when somebody begins to play with your hair. Not, these are not kids. Oh, let me feel your hair. Oh, that's different. Why is it so different? Like, I don't come to you and start feeling your hair to see how your hair is. So you already, yes, calling me different. You already disregarding me because maybe I washed my hair. You're touching you're belittling me. So, but what she did, this young girl, again being assertive. The important thing is when we are being assertive, we deal with the other person with respect as well, to help them save face. But she let it go. But then when things settled down, she dealt with it. It led to, the whole church, because it was from a church environment, the whole church having to have a day where they were, what's the word? They were spoken to about how to deal with people from other cultures because of this incident. So there was an education session, just telling with them, just like, you can't look at somebody from the Asian community, say China or something, you start talking about their features, that's disrespectful, no matter what your intentions are. Similarly, you cannot, I'm bringing this up because again, we're going into a new way of living. If in the past somebody has approached you and said, let me feel your hair, and you've taken it, it's actually an abuse of your.
I'll give you one example of my own. We all know that when you speak a second language, your first language always comes up,
Yeah.
In terms of phonetics and phonology, your it will not go away, no matter. Okay, so first language.
And do you really want it to go away? You don't.
No, you don't.
Yeah, it's who you are.
No, but I want you to know that it's true, even if you want to let it go, it's not going to stop. And you don't need to change yourself because of other people. So, yeah, so put downs can happen at any level. I was in a very strategic meeting somewhere, and it was a national meeting, actually. So, and I was there, invited especially to come and talk about dementia amongst Black, Asian, minority ethnic groups, So, and it was a policy meeting. And when I got there, so I was saying something, and somebody somewhere, and I thought it was funny, or I don't know what they wanted to gain from it, and said, huh? I said something, and this person said, huh? And everybody turned and looked at me. And you know this thing, I'm the only person that looks like me. The only person from my background, from my ethnicity. And then you turn to say, huh, to me in a meeting where everybody looked the same except I look different.
That's right, yeah.
And that's a real put down. So I quickly finished what I'm saying. Then I turned around to this person and I said, excuse me, when I was making so and so comment, or when I was putting that point through, you said, huh? I need to know why you made that sound.
Very good.
I need to know exactly why. Did you not, was I speaking very low, very softly that you didn't hear me? Did I not say it properly? So I would actually let you clarify exactly why you said, so that I could put you right, please. So you see how I didn't want it to go. I made sure that before I sat down, sure that before other people took my place, that I addressed that issue. And addressing it in such a way that, because this person wanted to show that I'm different and that maybe people from my background are aggressive people, or not intelligent, or I'm not worthy enough to be in that.
I think it's a strategy. Yeah, it's a strategy of undermining. You want to undermine you. That's it.
Exactly. So, so I didn't want to fall into the trap of what he thought I would be. So I turned around and I said, oh, okay. So I finished what I'm saying. Please, I noticed that when I was making that you said,
What did they have to say?
Could you clarify? And it's just that I didn't understand what you said. I didn't hear what I said. Is it the way I pronounced it? I now wanted to make it clear. Is it the way I pronounced it? He said, yeah. I said, okay. I turned around. I said, did any other person have the same problem as this gentleman? And they said, no. It came across. And one of them said, oh, what she said was so and so. And that's how it said. And I said, okay, thank you. So since you're the only one that didn't understand it, every other person here understood. So I'm just, So that's it then. Thank you. So if you have any other thing you want to say, you can say it at the end of this meeting. I don't want to take other people's time. You see what I mean? But you must, you could see he became sober. You could see he just shrunk. What he thought would happen, he thought I would gracefully give him the other check for him to by him. I didn't give him that satisfaction at all. And you need to handle it with respect and with. Don't let it slide. Don't sweep it under the carpet.
No, you have to deal with it.
Exactly.
You have to deal with it. I think you have to respond to put downs with a question or comments, never sarcasm. I do agree with that totally. And sometimes you have to actually, there's something they say, even the way you behave is even more powerful sometimes than just saying a word to that person. And then they look at you like, obviously, having been in the role of deputy mayor, I've been to so many places where even my escorts were the ones considered the invited guests, as mayor.
Well, of course, I'm not surprised.
And do you know what? Let me say this. If anyone begins to jump into conclusion that it's people from certain background that did that, it's mostly people from my own ethnic background, okay, that have done that to me. And rather than responding verbally, I've actually responded in the way I carried myself. So I ignore their questions. I ignore to even go into conversations with them until I step up to the platform to make my speech as the deputy mayor. And you see them really shrinking into nothingness. So sometimes, you know what? It's not that you're giving the other cheek.
No.
It's just like you look at that person and you treat them as a bigger person than they are.
I tell you what happened to me, an instance. So in 2010, I was invited to the garden party. So I have my, my invitation card saying, Her Royal Majesty.
This is the Queen's garden party.
Blah, blah, blah. So I have the card, nice. So I now decided that I have to take my husband with me to go. So dry, squashly everything. And my husband carried my purse in my wallet for me, or my purse, or whatever it is. And we got there. And so, you say, we drank all the coffee and every tea and all that. And we got to the time. So when the royal family will, they will come and talk to people, things like that. And as usual, I was the only person of my background. The other people that look like me were dignitaries from the Commonwealth, ambassadors and all that. So, but when it comes to, charities and all that, people that were invited because of what they do, I was the only person that looks like me, right?
Yeah.
In line for, the royal people to come shake hand and talk to you. Somebody behind will be directing them to who to talk to,
Yeah.
So when it got to my turn, I was bypassed, and my husband was the one that got the initial handshake. I said, "Oh, sir, you must have done very well to, so what is it that you do, blah, blah, blah." Oh, he said, "Sorry, not me. I'm just the one carrying the handbag here."
Bless him.
I return you back to the person that actually invited here. And so it came to me, and you could see they were dumbfounded that I was the one that was meant to be there. I'm not just
you didn't follow somebody. Yeah.
I wasn't along. So, and he said, "Oh, madam, you would have done so well to be invited here." So, usually it takes, they just stop and move to the next person. But I wouldn't say the royal person that spoke to me, but she was very nice. And she spent quite some time. She had interest to understand exactly what I do.
Yeah.
You could see the desire to really understand why I'm there. And so she took time and she spoke to me longer than she has spoken to other people. And she said, "What do you do? Where are you from? Oh, they would have done, you've done so wonderful that they invited you here. So how do you cope? How do you find funding and all that?" So, I gracefully answered properly. But in that situation, when they went to my husband and bypassed me, I didn't say anything. I just calmly, because I knew the person beside me, I knew he was going to send them back to me. So there was no need for saying anything. And he rightly asked them to, "So please speak to this person. It's not me at all." So in some cases, action is louder. So you have to, according to the situation, deal with it.
Exactly. And one of the things we have to say about dealing with put downs is, listen, don't take it personal. Don't feel upset about it. It's the other person's foolishness, not yours. So don't allow that to spoil your day.
Oh, yes.
Just remember who you are.
Yeah.
You are a confident person. You deserve to be in that position where you are right there. It doesn't matter if the ignorant person, I used to say this, well, I'm sorry. If you don't like me being here, the problem is not me, but you. So if you don't like me being here, maybe it's time for you. Yeah, it's time for you to go, because I'm going nowhere.
I'm not going.
Exactly. So if you're not happy, you can. That's the door. I've not finished with what I came for.
Exactly. I have the right to be there also.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness, that's really nice. So,
yeah.
Did you want to say something? Okay?
Yeah, it's normal. It's things that we kind of go through, like especially in the workplace. You run into all those awkward situations, and I must give credit as well to some people. Because when I run into things like that, there are people as well that will step in and said, "We are not having that," especially your senior. I just there's a lady I worked with. She was my manager. Absolutely brilliant manager. She walked into the situation, and they wanted to move me from that ward to a different place. And she asked me, what do you want? I said, I would like to be exactly where I am because I have no issue with this, anything that is going on. This is how this person felt about me. It's not my problem. Exactly. I'm not going anywhere. Exactly. I'm telling you, I enjoy working in this world. Yeah. So because if you move me, they will move me from another place to another place to another place. The story will go around. And they will know that I'm movable. Nobody moves me. That's it. Unless I want to move. Exactly. So she said, fantastic. So she went to the office, picked up the phone and called the police. That's the manager. Said, I will not have such language in this place. And the police came and asked me, and I told them what happened, and I walked away. He said, do you want to do anything? I said, no. All I want to do is do my work. I enjoy my work. I respect the people, and I have no problem with anybody. So as long as they don't do it, take it as a habit, and they stop it from here. If not, I'll be calling you. No problem. So they gave me a card, and they spoke to me, and they went. Said, thank you very much. I said, thank you for coming. And I left. Went to do my work. I left them to chew the whole thing by themselves. Because there are good people that will stand up and say, no, I'm not having it.
That's right.
But there are not many. There are not many.
Yeah. But they are there, and don't feel that you have to take it. That's what we're trying to say.
Oh no, I don't. I just said that it's not my business. If you say something and you don't mention me and you don't direct it to me and you say passive word towards me, I don't pay attention to it because that's bringing myself to that level. Yeah, that's not who I am. So whatever you're saying is up to you. You know, that's how you feel, not how I feel. So I'll just go on my way. But if you mention me and direct the question personally to me, then I will address it with you. And I said, okay, that's not how it is exactly. And we can explain myself and I can tell you, no, that's not right. Don't say that to someone else again. They might not respond the way I'm responding to you. It's not the right language to use to somebody like, you know, that doesn't look like you, but we're all equal here. So please don't do that next time. So because someone else might not, you know. So I educate them as well, you know, concerning the language. Because if you walk away from some, because they think you don't understand why you're there. Somehow they just think that you're there because of some kind of magic way. You haven't walked your way up there. They think you just dropped in there, so they know better than you. But when they start seeing that you're performing even better than they are or even equal, that's where they start looking for words to try and bring you lower than them. So I just let them know it doesn't work with me. Sorry.
Great. So that's a very good explanation. That's really wonderful. And exactly like what you have, you ladies have been saying, you have some examples here actually.
Yeah.
To put down. So, for instance, when somebody said to you, "If I were you," you're not me anyway. So, if I were you, so the right thing to say is, "Thank you for the advice, but I must sort this out by myself. You're not me. So you're not me. So let me handle it myself." Or "Thank you, I will bear that in mind." Okay, and that goes away. You don't warning. If I were you, and so what? It doesn't make sense. Another thing would say, that would be nagging actually. Haven't you finished the cleaning yet, for instance? Haven't you finished the cleaning yet? Meaning that you are slow, you are sluggy, you don't know what you're doing. So it's a lot of connotations there. So you don't get drowning or say, I'll be doing it like this, or it's because of that, or they groom it.
No, you don't go there.
It's, why do you ask? Haven't you finished the, why do you ask? Do you want to take over? Why do you ask?
Because you want to give me a hand.
Exactly.
you just hand the Uber to this. Why don't you show me how it's done, bro?
Why do you ask? You want to do it?
Yeah, exactly. I don't do Uber and show me.
Another example is that was a stupid thing to do. That's describing your action. Maybe you're doing something. Oh, that was a stupid thing to do. And some people do it actually. They say that. I said, I didn't get it right, but that does not mean, and that does not make me stupid at all. I will try and do it differently next time. So don't buy into whatever they say. Because it's put down. You know, it's put down. So these are some of the, ways to turn it around. Turn it around.
Yes.
Also, just to let you know that these things can happen both at home and at work. Yeah. It can happen anywhere. So it's just knowing how to respond in an assertive way. Please, post-COVID-19, right now in post-COVID-19, we need to be the better us that we have been in the past. And so don't allow anyone to put you down. And the thing about put down and you not responding the way you should is that you don't respond to them, but you go to your closet and you cry. Or you feel bad about it. So rather than do that, deal with it. Okay? Deal with it there and then and say, you know what? Especially the last one. That's a stupid thing to do. They might actually be laughing and saying that. Okay.
Oh yeah,
But don't buy into that. We all make mistakes. We all have blunt moments. I'll learn from that. That doesn't make me stupid. It's actually important for us to deal with things like that there and then, rather than go and start.
Nobody's above mistakes. Anyway, nobody's above mistakes. No. Because
we learn from mistakes. We learn from mistakes. We absolutely learn from mistakes.
Exactly. So it's about, when I like this saying, and I bless my father, he's the one that always used to say to me, he says, nobody stops learning. You cannot stop, as long as you're alive, you cannot stop learning. When people stop learning, they're finished.
It's over.
It's over, that's finished. You've got to be learning new things every day. So and that's what I ask myself every day. What new thing have I learned today? My children know that when they come back, they say to me, Mommy, I learned so and so. Oh, I learned how to do this. Oh, I picked up this. Oh, you've got to, a living being have to learn how, learn new things. So when people say, oh, you didn't know how to do that, or it was a stupid way of doing it, then don't take it personal, because you're still a work in progress.
Work in progress,
A work in progress.
Yeah.
We're not perfect. So, and that we come to the end of this. And anybody has any question to ask or any other issue to explore relating to what we've been saying?
I just want to pick up on the second point, your thoughts for the future. I wanted just to say to anybody out there who really wants to have that change, you can, and you just need to start somewhere and start now. Start doing your research, start dreaming, and I tell you what, opportunities come for those who are ready, those who have prepared themselves. So please don't wait until after the lockdown before you start putting your ideas together. Start now. Start now. Start volunteering. Start looking at things. Start just seeing yourself in the place that you would like to be.
And work towards it,
Work towards it. And another thing I would say, sometimes you may have to volunteer. You may have to really reach out to others. The opportunity will not come to you. You will have to go to it. You will have to, put yourself out there. If you're somebody who is not used to, giving yourself into things, maybe this is the time for you to do something. Don't find there's nothing too difficult. You can start somewhere. Learn. And you know what? Come in the next 12 months, you will be glad you did. Because, all of us talking on this platform today have started from basically nothing. Exactly. Coming to a new environment. You can tell from our accents, none of us was born here. But, arrived here, sometimes not even knowing anybody, and here we are today. Because we've worked towards that opportunity. We've seen ourselves. The future is always one that we have perceived to be bright, not one that we know so much about, but at least we've seen it to be bright. And so we've worked towards educating ourselves, we've worked towards finding opportunities, networking with people, and you can do the same. And we look forward to celebrating your success.
Yeah. Can I just add one thing? Yeah. For maybe for future reference and all that. This is something I've witnessed and kind of seen happen over and over again with people, especially people from our background. If we can look into how we can speak to that area of encouraging them to break out of that mindset of, this is where I'm coming from, this is how I am, into bridging, using the opportunity that is so available here to start building one brick at a time, to start working on mindset, on how you talk, on how you relate to, how you see other culture, the culture you're surrounded with, and how you can approach things, to ask questions. Because where I come, our people can tend to like put a block, and just separate themselves and say, oh, you are this and that. But together we can kind of, gain from each other. I can teach somebody that don't know my culture, and I can explain to them where I'm coming from, and they will understand. But if you don't communicate and try and let the other person self-educate you, and you educate the other person as someone that is growing, you won't be able to move forward. Then you'll be stuck in that mindset. Then if you see other people progressing, then you kind of have that feeling, say, oh, whatever. So I'm just saying that maybe for future reference, we can encourage our people and, and all that, and everybody actually, and other people as well, to understand, so we can understand together, as you said, together,
I appreciate what you're saying, Kex. That's really wonderful. In essence, what you're trying to say is something about interculturalism. What you're trying to say is something about community integration, and that will lead to cohesive community. And people understanding one another and valuing one another. Gladly. I think, Gloria, if you're with me, maybe it's something that we will touch briefly come Friday when we're rounding up. As touch briefly on that to set a platform for future talks and all that. What do you think, Gloria?
Yeah, that's okay. I'll be good. Obviously, we are both Christine and myself. We're both community leaders. In my role as a local councillor, I believe that I'm a community leader because my entity, the work I do, cuts across many cultures and nationalities. So
absolutely.
And also with Christine, in the work you do with Diversity House, cuts across. So it will be good. I think. When we've been talking about assertiveness and all this, we've approached it from the point of view of not just being people from the BAME community, but people from the community as a whole. Because we realize that there are men and women really, who have been affected by not being confident. Those who have been abused.
Absolutely.
And as community leaders, our role is to use our experience in life to support others towards making a better them, and a better outcome for themselves and their families. So, of course, it will be good to work at that level. I know with before I became a local councillor, one of the things I did was work with local women in my community here who, you know, none of them looks like me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so our job is to help communities, like you rightly said. But when some communities come and, you know, and express a particular need for something, so we will provide that support for them.
Yeah.
So what you said, Kate, is we've had other, you know, people from your background or our background, so they need that, so, you know, so we will also, in that spirit, provide that particular support.
That's right.
You know, so, you know, we will do that.
It'll be our pleasure to do that.
And I would want to say thank you to all those who have been part of this On Your Sofa discussion. It's been a wonderful 2 hours, actually. Could you believe that? Is it?
Yeah, not quite.
No.
It's going nearly to 2 hours. But
it doesn't feel like it. It doesn't feel like
never
2
does.
hours.
Never does. Never does.
So thank you very much for the opportunity to, you know, to sit around the table on the sofa to learn with you and to share. And I'm learning very valuable social and life skills here, I'm telling you. And so, and I hand over to my other moderator and say, you have something to say, Gloria?
Just to say, it's been wonderful having this opportunity to talk about, you know, things that, you know, matter to us and to other people who are listening. So it's been great. It's like Kate said, it doesn't feel like it's been almost 2 hours. Yeah.
Kate, we say thank you for being part of this today.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just grateful. I'm thankful to God for being part of it, and I've learned I've learned a lot, and I'll keep learning. So thank you very much, ladies. You're doing a great job. I hope to walk on your footsteps.
Great.
And go.
We do it together.
Yeah,
we all do it together.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You have helped one person. You have helped one person. That's me. So I'm your perfect project. So there'll be many across the board.
Yeah.